Susan G. Komen for the Cure has been at the forefront of breast cancer research for nearly 3 decades. But how has the current economic climate impacted fundraising? Dr. Dara Richardson-Heron is the CEO of the Greater New York City affiliate for the Susan J. Komen, Foundation for the Cure. Doctor, it's a pleasure.
It's my pleasure to be here.
My wife's mother died of breast cancer, and everybody probably watching this show has had somebody in their life touched because it is the most common cause of cancer death among women, correct?
That's right, second to skin cancer.
Oh, second to skin cancer.
That's right.
Still, one is too many.
One is too many, and certainly as a 12-year and counting breast cancer survivor myself, and the daughter of a 22-year and counting breast cancer survivor, it's something that I'm extremely passionate about.
And catching it early, unfortunately my wife's mother, and I never got a chance to meet her, she passed away before I met my wife, she didn't catch it early.
That's right.
And that's in large part what your foundation is trying to raise money to make sure that the proper screening, the proper testing is there.
That's right. Early detection is critical to surviving breast cancer. And 27 years ago, before our organization was founded, people didn't even say the word breast. So what we've done is increased awareness about the importance of early detection. Breast cancer caught before it spreads beyond the breast is actually, the cure rate is about 98%. As opposed to 74% back 27 years ago. So it's very, very important. Early detection is the best tool we have now.
And on a more positive note, my grandmother, she passed away, but she was a breast cancer survivor. And the treatments and the early detection have come so far because, she had a radical mastectomy, and now there are so many other alternatives for women. But let's focus on the economy a little bit because you're in the fundraising business.
That's right.
How has fundraising held up, particularly with corporate sponsorships compared to a year ago?
Well, what's interesting, by and large, corporate sponsorship is down, but we're so committed to our mission, and like you said, everyone's life has been touched by breast cancer. What we're finding is we might lose a certain dollar amount from a large corporate sponsorship, but we're picking them up in smaller sponsorships. And there are also some sponsors like Dwayne Reed who has stepped up to the plate and actually doubled their sponsorship from last year. So I think it really is important for you to have a strong mission. It's hard to go out and ask for money now, but when you're so committed to the cause as I am and my team is, you certainly can still get people to respond to you.
Do you have to change the way you ask for money?
Well, I'm not sure if we're changing the way we ask, but we're being much more creative in our sponsorship. The days are over when people are just going to give you a check. They're really looking for a win-win. How does this help employee relations? How does this make us look as an organization in terms of corporate stewardship? And so we're really being more creative about the way we structure our sponsorships. And I think that's being very helpful, and I think that's something that we should continue to do.
How are you trying to get people involved? Because your central event every year is the race that's coming up this Sunday. How are you trying to get individuals involved more this year than last?
Well, that's interesting. Our race is on Sunday, September 13th. I hope everyone will come out and support us. It's in Central Park. But what we're focusing on is the power of one. One person can make a difference. We instituted a $250 challenge this year. Unlike other races, we don't require a minimum donation for people to walk in our race. But this year we're asking people to try to raise at least $250 because, the initial fee gets you to the start line, but the fundraising is what gets us to the cures.
Right.
There's so much competition, too, for the charitable dollar now.
There is, but my thought on that is if we're all serious about our mission, and that's to eradicate breast cancer, there should be more collaboration, and I think that's one good thing that's
interesting. Are there two, and I don't want to sound crass, but are there too many charities? I'm not saying there's too many people trying to help, but you know what I mean, from an infrastructure point of view, if let's say charitable dollars are down 20%, it's going to be hard to fund some of those organizations, all of which may be needed in their own way. Can we use maybe a more private sector corporate model to streamline the way charities do business? I hope I'm making some sense.
You are making sense. In fact, I've just been in this organization a little bit over a year. One of the first things I wanted to do, particularly around public policy as well as education awareness, I thought we should be combining our efforts, having some economies of scale. And so what we did, we put on a conference actually at the 92nd Street Y. It was a collaboration, first of its kind, between my organization, Avon, and Breast Cancer Research Foundation. The amount of money we saved as opposed to doing it separately, I think it was a big deal. And I think it was very, very important. And I think we should think about that going forward.
All right, Dr. Dara Richardson-Heron, doing good work, and we appreciate it.
Well, thank you so much for having me here. It's been a pleasure.
Put those running shoes on. He can't do it. I'm going to try and come.
I would do it if I was in town. I will not be in town.
Well, you can sleep in for the cure.
Yeah, but I can't sleep in for work. That's the problem.
Doctor, thank you so much.
Thank
Great
you.
to
Thank
see
you.
you.
My pleasure.
Such an important topic.